Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode. I know it's been a long time coming, but thank you very much for joining us here at the Wheel to Wheel podcast, presented by Singularity Motorsports Racing Team. And in today's episode, I know it's been a while since we recorded our last episode. A lot has changed. Hope you guys are doing well with the pandemic hanging in there. But yeah, I just wanted to take some time to kind of go over the start of this new upcoming 2021 season for Formula One, and what we can expect here in the next couple weeks, and hopefully for the duration of the championship. A lot of exciting changes announced. Firstly, obviously with the teams, Alpine, replacing Renault, much of the same outfit, but there are quite a bit of differences there, and obviously Aston Martin coming into play here, replacing Racing Point. So, just looking really forward to those teams getting up to speed and really fighting in contention. I know with McLaren having changes now to their power units, having a Mercedes engine instead of a Renault engine. There should be some real interesting elements here, even though a lot of the cars, due to financial reasons, of course, have been carried over, a lot of those elements, but there are some key differences, and we'll touch a little bit about that as we progress in this episode. But yeah, if you like the content, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. And without further ado, we'll begin. So basically, again, having 10 teams joining in this calendar, there were a few changes, with to the calendar. Firstly, with Imola coming back into this season's calendar from last year, and same thing with Portimao in Portugal, and so both of those races I think are going to be interesting, especially if weather comes into effect as always. But that's something to keep in mind. Also, as we've seen here so far, is something relating to the teams and the design elements. And so I know with a lot of those regulation changes being consistent and carried over from last year, there are a few key differences, obviously, which have slowed the cars down in effect up to half a second a lap. Things with the floor, the rear of the car with the wing and the diffuser being shortened. The floor being, instead of a flat rectangular shape, it's now kind of cut inward, so the effect of having that floor to the ground is greatly reduced, and all these elements, of course, reducing downforce to save costs and also to pull the cars back a little bit, and help the tires. Pirelli, I know we're struggling to make tires to keep up with the incredible G-force and demands of the cars from last year, and so we saw a lot of tire failures as a result, like at Silverstone and things like that. So all in all, I think pulling the cars back, I think teams are clever. They'll find those gaps and differences, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see who can adapt to these changes the quickest and come out of the gates firing on all cylinders. So, obviously this week testing has been greatly reduced as from previous seasons due to, obviously, with COVID. And so it doesn't give the teams a lot of time to really test or fine-tune any of their, race performance specs versus qualifying trim. So the teams also testing out new parts and stuff. I think that'll be very interesting because generally speaking, usually you'd have a couple weeks to really settle down and really try a whole different array of things, if you will. But in this case, we only had, I think, about 3 or 4 days of testing, and so before the start of the first race, obviously in Bahrain, at the end of March here. So yeah, just not a lot of time, which again will throw another element of uncertainty heading into the first race of the championship. I think that's a good thing for us spectators because we want to see maybe some of the pecking order shake up here. I know Mercedes were having some issues, with Hamilton going off. But Bottas set the fastest time here, just I believe yesterday. So, testing is, as most of you know, is very not an accurate representative, if you will, of the team's actual performance because everyone's trying different elements, different surprises. But it'll be interesting to see how these teams, with the lack of real testing, kind of carry over some of their data into the first race and throughout the championship. So that'll be interesting to see. And to be honest, I'm really excited about the new teams coming in. I know, with the new engine regulation changes coming up here in, I believe, 2025, the goal is to attract more manufacturers. I know it's sad Honda's leaving at the end of this year, but I honestly think they're a serious contender for this year's championship if all things go firing, and Red Bull have a real opportunity to challenge Mercedes. And so just sad to see them going. But I think with the changes and more cost affordability, with the newer engines that are coming in 2025, I think more manufacturers will definitely join the grid, which will be exciting. And so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But for this season, driver changes as well. Obviously, Mick Schumacher brings back the famous Schumacher name back into Formula One. And same thing with Lance Stroll, obviously, being a key part for Racing Point. You have Nikita Mazepin also joining Mick Schumacher and Haas. And you have Yuki Tsunoda as well, joining AlphaTauri and partnering with Pierre Gasly. So some young drivers, quite a bit, and we still have some old familiar names at the back of the grid and at the front of the grid. So we have still Raikkonen and such and company. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the youth versus experience also shake up. And who knows, we might have a few first-time winners as well this year as we did last year. So that'll be interesting to see. I just want to hear from you guys as well what you think, what are the new teams that you think will outperform some of the old established teams here? And you can leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. For me, honestly, I think Aston Martin has a real chance at fighting for podiums and even race wins. Because, if you look at Racing Point, they were in strong contention. They obviously won that race with Perez in Bahrain. But even before then, they were really fighting for podiums. And they had a bit of bad luck with Stroll as well, like in Portimao when he'd spun off there. But in general, I think they're a pretty strong contender, and they're transferring a lot of that information and data over to the new outfit here being Aston Martin. And, Lance Stroll and Lawrence Stroll, obviously his father there, they have a good sense of direction in terms of where they want to take the team. And obviously having Sebastian Vettel there, you can't go wrong with having a four-time champion, providing the data and experience and guidance to help the team move forward. So I'll be very keen and interested to see in how they progress and really challenge, I think, Red Bull and Mercedes this season. Another big name, obviously Ferrari. Ferrari power teams last year struggled mightily, and came to light actually. I think they had made some sort of secret deal, if you all can remember. I think due to their scandal in 2019 with the power units and the oil burning and all that fiasco. And so I think part of their secret dealings, as we had heard from one of the stewards, revealed recently, is that they had to, I think, trim down their power or something for last season. And so obviously Ferrari being the works team, as well as Haas and I forgot the other team actually, Alfa Romeo, sorry. Those three teams were struggling mightily, obviously, last year. I expect them to bounce back, especially looking at their results in testing relatively. It seemed pretty on pace, and the speed is definitely there. So I think that penalty really was for last season only. And so I do expect them to bounce back, maybe in the top four. And expect Williams to do well as well. I think, with the change in management, of course, and a lot of different moving pieces there, it'll be interesting to see again. And hopefully it's more unpredictable in that sense compared to last year in terms of the pecking order. I would really like to see Williams score some points. And, hopefully we'll see how the season progresses. I think it'll be a full season, and with COVID, things will obviously change. Don't know if any news is released on any fans attending any of the Grand Prix, but yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see how things progress and how the championship progresses. But yeah, I think there are a few key challengers here to Mercedes, and it won't be as easy for Mercedes to really defend their championship as it might have been, for example, last year. So yeah, a lot of key elements that are going to change things here for this season. But I'm keen to hear your guys' feedback, your comments. And again, if you enjoy this content, please stay tuned. We'll definitely be releasing more videos this year compared to last year. And then, yeah, looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. Thanks again. Take care.